So today I'm gonna give you something that's very tasty. Okay, we're gonna be looking at world's most expensive foods. Now the list is gonna get crazy, so let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let's do this.
Tired of eating the same old food? Fancy a taste of some of the finest ingredients money can buy? A meal like this one would set you back more than just a few $1,000s. Don't believe me? Stay tuned to find out about some foods that are only available to the rich. Coffin Bay King Oysters. Let's kick things off with one of the most prestigious entrees around, oysters. Unless you happen to be drowning in cash, these babies probably aren't part of your typical Friday night dinner. There are many varieties of this legendary delicacy, but just one can be named the literal king of all oysters, the Coffin Bay King Oyster. Grown exclusively on a farm located within a sheltered peninsula off the Australian west coast, these wallet-busting mollusks come with a hefty price tag of about $75 a pop.
So is what? I mean, seafood is expensive. This I do know, but do you know how much that is in Zambian kwacha? Look, that's how much you're gonna spend for that, and it doesn't even look tasty at all. It looks like, oh. Anyway, let's get it on.
A pop. After being grown for 6 years rather than the usual 18 months, each bad boy can weigh up to 2 pounds, meaning they can have up to 10 times more meat than their run-of-the-mill cousins. Their strong aroma and complex taste have earned them the title of the oyster steak of the ocean. But if you want to shell out and see for yourself, you'll have to head down to Australia's Eyre Peninsula. Almost caviar. Oysters are a great appetizer, but if you want to get real swanky, why not throw in some caviar? Behold the almighty almost caviar, which will set you back a cool $25,000 for a 2.2 pound tin. Of course, the tin is made of metal which has been bathed in 24 karat gold, so it's worth every penny, right? Caviar is usually made from the eggs of the savruga, osetra, and beluga species of sturgeon fish. But this white caviar comes exclusively from the albino beluga sturgeon, which lives in the Caspian Sea. Because their albinism is caused by a genetic disorder, albino belugas are extremely rare nowadays. That doesn't stop the filthy rich from dashing their chances of survival even more by eating their eggs anyway. The pearl-like eggs are extracted from the specimens over 100 years old and are said to boast an intense, nutty, creamy taste best enjoyed on toast or over ice with vodka to finish. Almost caviar can only be purchased from one of the few select caviar house and prunier stores in London, and did I mention it's commonly eaten with a pearl spoon?
People are paying an insane amount just to have eggs that come from a fish. So basically caviar is a little fish.
Bird's nest soup. Have you ever felt
And I'm really intrigued to see how much this is going to cost. A bird's nest. I'm really intrigued. Bird's nest soup. I want to see how much it's gonna cost.
compelled to climb a tree and chow down on an entire bird's nest? Or better yet, take it home and turn it into soup? Believe it or not, bird's nest soup is a major delicacy in China, costing anywhere between $2,500 to $10,000 per kilogram. These aren't any old bird's nests, but the nest of swallows or swiftlets which are made from 100% saliva. That's right, these birds make their babies' homes out of their own solidified spit. And some culinary connoisseurs can't get enough of the stuff. When they're boiled in water, the delicate nests dissolve into a gelatinous goop which is supposedly perfect for soups.
Let me just break it down for you a little bit, yeah? People are gonna pay this amount in Zambian kwacha, okay? This is the amount in pounds, yeah? But they're gonna pay this amount in Zambian kwacha, okay? Just to eat bird saliva. Make that clear. They're gonna pay this amount for some bird saliva.
Yummy. The asking price of about $100 per bowl can be attributed to how hard the nests are to get a hold of in the first place. Climbers must scale the dark and dizzying heights of the Madai Caves in Malaysia to scout for nests that are ready for the picking, ideally after one batch of eggs is hatched, but before a second. After that, each tiny feather must be individually removed by hand. Kobe beef. Steak makes a mean main course, but if you want a truly premium experience, there's one kind that'll do the job. Kobe beef. These illustrious cuts of meat are procured from the Tajima-gu breed of Japanese Wagyu cattle, which are raised in the Kobe region. The animals are so well esteemed that they live like kings. They're massaged daily, played classical music, and even fed beer to induce their appetite.
Oh God, people have taken value addition to a whole new level. Kobe beef. How do you massage a cow, play soft music for it, and even give it beer to induce the flavor? So if I buy a cow and I massage it, yeah, and I play music for it, yeah, I even give it alcohol, that cow should be worth about 50,000 kwacha, 100, because see the labor of massaging the cow, which by the way doesn't need to be massaged, but the labor I went through, the Zesco bill I had to pay for it to be listened into soft music, and then the alcohol I wasted on it, you know. So yeah, it's 100,000 kwacha. I think that's a good technique. We should do this. Zambians should really learn from this.
Kobe beef is renowned for its superior flavor, tenderness, and high amount of intermuscular fat, which contributes to its melt-in-the-mouth qualities. All Wagyu beef is rated on a marbling scale of 1 to 12 based on this distribution of fat, and Kobe beef only qualifies if it scores between 10 to 12. The luxury beef market has even been tainted by controversy after numerous establishments tried to pass off regular Wagyu beef as Kobe. With Kobe fraud rampant in the US, all cuts must now be assigned a 10-digit ID number so that it can be traced back to the cow it came from. Restaurateurs must also carry a license of authenticity that can be shown on demand. So if you're a beef aficionado, it's worth checking before shelling out up to $300 for a single pound of meat. Blonde d'Aquitaine steak. For those rich enough to take a been-there-done-that approach to Kobe beef, perhaps Blonde d'Aquitaine steak is more your forte. This rare beef is considered the most expensive steak in the world, and you can expect to pay about $3,200 for just one cut.
$3,200 for just a cut of this beef. What have they done so far? They've named it with a long name, something aqua something beef or steak, but when you think about it, it's actually a cow. How is this the most expensive food? I mean, how are you going to pay Zambeef 50 kwacha per kg and then buy this steak at this amount for a cut? Get out.
The meat comes from prized free-range Blonde d'Aquitaine cattle and is produced by Parisian butcher Alexandre Polmard on his family farm in northeastern France. The extortionate price tag is thanks to the technique Polmard developed in the 1990s to treat the meat. The cattle are hand-reared and free to roam the forests and grasslands of the French countryside, and only 4 are killed weekly. Each cow is then slaughtered humanely to make the process as stress-free as possible and to keep acidity levels at a minimum. The meat is then stored in a room and pumped with a constant stream of air at speeds of almost 75 miles per hour and temperatures of negative 45 degrees Fahrenheit, where it remains in this state of forced hibernation for 15 years. To see if it's really
This man kills 4 cows per week, okay? Puts them in a room with fans, okay? Blowing the meat, and then puts it in more like a cold room, I might say, for 15 years. And suddenly the price tag goes up. You know what? I'm gonna kill a chicken and put it in the fridge for 15 years, okay? And then it's gonna go from 85 kwacha to 1,000 kwacha, maybe. I'll think about it, maybe. But this is ridiculous, man.
Really worth it, you'll have to visit Polmer's store in Paris. Very few restaurants are entrusted with the beef, and Polmer pays each establishment a personal visit before they're even allowed to serve it. La Bonnotte potatoes.
Oh, I want to see the price tag on an ordinary potato now. Let's hear how they've added value to a potato that makes it. Anyway, let's see how much it is.
The potato is one of the most humble foods around, but not when it comes to the sought-after La Bonnotte variety, aka the world's most expensive potato. These spuds are so well regarded that they're even known as the caviar of the potato world. Why, you ask? Firstly, they're almost exclusively grown on the tiny island of Noirmoutier off the coast of western France, and only about 20 tons are produced yearly. Preparing them for sale is also an arduous process because they're too delicate to be machine harvested, so each potato must be carefully hand-picked instead. With all the added effort it takes to get a hold of them, you might be wondering why La Bonnotte potatoes are worth eating to begin with. Fans of the souped-up spud say the sea air and sea water, which acts as a fertilizer for the soil, gives the potatoes a hint of sea salt and even a suggestion of.
So, let me get this straight. One, they're too fragile to be handled by a machine, so they're hand-picked. Okay. Two, they're saying the ocean wind and the ocean water acts as a fertilizer. I swear ocean water is like salty, so I'm guessing if I get salt and put it in water, I've got ocean water.
Don't leave me! Don't leave me!
That acts as fertilizer, and then the price tag just man, these guys.
Of lemon. If you fancy La Bonnottes for tea, you should probably know that they sell for about $300 per pound. White truffles. If there's one thing capable of elevating a dish to new layers of prestige, it's truffles. These fragrant fungi are some of the world's rarest delicacies, and even the Romans couldn't get enough, attributing them with therapeutic and aphrodisiac properties. White truffles, or the diamond of the kitchen, are by far the best. The knobbly white mushrooms can only be harvested between October through December in the forests of Piedmont in northern Italy, where they grow inches below the earth with the roots of hardwood trees, which means finding them isn't easy. Specially trained dogs or pigs, known as truffle couteurs, must scour the forest floor in search of hidden gems below the earth. Scientists have tried and failed to domesticate white truffles, meaning you also won't be stumbling upon any in your local supermarket anytime soon. These factors all contribute to the fervor surrounding truffles and the value their complex flavor can bring to risotto, pasta, and even foie gras. Just 1 pound of white truffles costs around $2,000, and in 2009 a record-breaking single 1.6 pound specimen was even auctioned for an eye-watering $150,000.
Someone sought fungi for $150,000 for a single. What's this video today? How is this the most expensive food? It's fungi. If I see something else that's ridiculous, I'm just gonna end the video because I thought I'll be seeing things I've never. Anyway, let's see.
KOPI LUWAK coffee. Many people enjoy an after-dinner beverage, and if you're entertaining guests with particularly deep pockets, perhaps only KOPI LUWAK coffee will suffice. Legend has it this highly valued coffee was first discovered in Indonesia under Dutch colonial rule. Native farmers and plantation workers were forbidden from harvesting coffee for their own use and were left to scrounge around for it. That's when they made an unusual discovery. Civet cats would eat coffee cherries and poop out the seeds, or coffee beans, without digesting them. After brewing coffee from the discarded beans, they realized it tasted great too, mostly because the civets picked only the ripest cherries. The tradition continued, and nowadays vendors of authentic KOPI LUWAK coffee can command anywhere between $250 to $1,200 per kilogram. There are some controversies surrounding the unconventional beverage though. Primarily, civet cats are nocturnal and don't have big appetites, which means more than 80% of KOPI LUWAK coffee sold in the US has never actually passed through one. Attempts to industrialize the process also means many civet cats are caged and force-fed the berries round the clock, which results in crappy coffee made by very crappy people.
Wait, so people, so the animal has to eat the cherry or whatever it is, and then once it removes it from the other end, they make coffee, and it's costing this much. Peace.